What's up, everybody? Afternoon. It's Sean. Just wanted to follow up and add on to my my last video about setting appointments, and just add a little bit as far as service reception and the importance of a walk around, and my biggest thing, meeting the customer outside. Why we should do it, why we do it, and the benefits of it. So first off, hope everyone had a great week. Hope everyone's looking forward to a big Christmas weekend. But here's the thing with service reception and the important things that we have to remember. You know, what I like to point out is you really have to have empathy for what these people are going through. You know, for a guy like me, you know, you having a flat tire frankly doesn't mean shit to me. You know, if I get a flat tire, it's whatever, no big deal. If I get a flat tire on the way to work, I call work, hey man, running late. I got a perfectly good spare in the back of my brand new car. I'll throw it on real quick and I'll be 8 minutes late. You know, it's no big deal, you know. And on the customer side of it, we see people with flat tires get towed in all the time, missing a lug nut or a lug wrench. They check their spare and it's flat or damaged or old or whatever. You know, it's you need to be empathetic to what other people are going to. Put not necessarily yourself in their shoes, but try to think about what that would be like if your spouse or your mother or grandmother went through that. You know, you never know just what effect that's having on somebody's day. You know, you could have somebody coming in and they won't tell you, and you may just want to pretend that this is what everyone's got going on, but, you know, treat them as if they're on their way to an interview. They haven't worked in 3 months. They're 2 months behind on bills and their car breaks down. What kind of mindset is that person going to be in? You need to be sensitive to that and be prepared for that, because otherwise you're just going to be an asshole. Even if you're being nice, you're going to come off as an asshole, because to us it's like, okay, yeah, what's wrong with your car? Oh, okay, cool. It's going to be $100 for me to find out what's going on. Just leave it with me. I'll call you in a couple hours and let you know how much. That's it. And that's what we do all day long. And hey, maybe you're lucky and you have a warranty. Oh, you didn't buy a warranty when you bought your used car? Tough shit. That'll be $100. I'll call you in a while. You know, it's you might extend the generosity of a shuttle ride or a loaner car or something, but it's not empathetic to what they have going on. You have to have that. If you don't have empathy, you probably won't be doing this for very long. I can't imagine anybody makes it that long in this business, at least with any real level of success, that's not empathetic to what people are going through. But that is the number one thing, is that persona that the customers come in and see. It really holds true. It does not matter what you have going on at home. If you made the decision to come into work, all of that needs to be set aside. And when your customers walk in, you're giving them 130%, you know, of a customer experience. So I can't push on that enough. But when they do come in, the number one most important thing is to meet them outside. You got to remember that customers are not comfortable standing or sitting at your desk or at your podium. It's not their comfort zone whatsoever. I guarantee you, if you polled 100 Americans and said, hey, what's your favorite place to be? Your desk ain't one of them. You know, where's your happy place? It's not your desk. That's not it for them. So, you know, it's not their car either, but they are grossly more comfortable out there than they are in your area with the pictures of your family and all of your stuff and your tire ad over here and your tread depth thing over here and your brakes worn sign in the background. That's not comfortable for them. So you meet them out at the car, and this gives you a couple opportunities. You know, imagine that a customer comes in for an oil change and they just so happen to need a tire rotation and wiper blades, and that's it. Everything else is perfectly fine with their car. Imagine how efficient you would be if, instead of writing it up for an oil change, getting it in the shop, the technician finding that it needs wiper blades and a rotation, they go get a quote for that stuff from parts, come back up to the service lane, tell you, then you have to either go get them from the lounge or call them to sell them the wiper blades and rotation, to then maybe get the approval to then go back to the tech, who then has to go back to parts to get the wipers, to then go back on the car. you're losing a minimum of 20 minutes there. Minimum 20 minutes. In some stores and in some circumstances, you're losing hours. You might not be able to reach, they may have left, you can't reach them till 4. And then they call you back at 4:30, and now it's a scramble just to put some freaking wipers on a car and rotate the tires. Imagine for a second, instead of that you've met them in the drive, they say, yeah, I'm in for an oil change. Okay, fantastic. I want to invite you out to do a quick walk around with me. We'll get some info on your car and get you going. Don't use the term write up, because it irritates the hell out of me. But the term write up, it doesn't mean to them what it means to us. A write up is like something you get at work when you're in trouble, or at school when you go to the principal's office. It's not write up a car. That doesn't translate to people. So don't use that term. Side note. But we'll get you started. We'll get things going for you. You go out there, you stick their tires. Hey, you need a rotation. We're actually running a special with the oil change. The rotation's $10 or $20 or whatever it is that you're running. You get in the car, you turn it on. Oh, fantastic. No lights on, no other malfunctions. How's everything running for you? Oh, great. Okay, cool. You pump the wipers, you check the horn. Okay, horn works. Oh, your wipers are streaking a little bit. Have you noticed that? You want me to go ahead and throw a set on for you so you don't have to worry about it? Oh, well, I don't know. I'll just, listen, you can either wait until it's raining to find out, and then you got to come back or whatever, or you do it now. You won't have anything to worry about for 10,000 miles until your next service. Okay, cool. You just sold everything that the car possibly needs. Now, that's not always going to be the case. There's going to be times where they go in and there's a CV boot busted, or it needs rear brakes, or whatever else. But if you eliminate those common things, every car that comes in for an oil change needs a tire rotation. Depending on who you talk to, they recommend a tire rotation 3, 5, or 10,000 miles. And it normally coincides exactly with the oil change interval now. So every car that needs an oil change needs a tire rotation. Basically, you get an oil change on average on a 10,000 mile interval, they're doing it every 8 months. 5,000 miles, it's every 4 months is the average interval. You need wipers twice a year. So 2/3 of your oil change appointments need wipers. So, just by law of averages, every oil change that comes in just about needs wipers and rotations. And so at the very least, you can tell the technician they declined it at the very least, so that even if they're not going to buy it, you've tried, you damn sure showed them. So if they're going to decline it to that, they're going to decline it. But you're not wasting the tech's time looking up stuff. You're not wasting parts time looking at stuff. Lord knows they all have better things to do. So that's the second biggest part of the walk around of reception, is doing the actual walk around. There's so much benefit to that. I run into advisors all the time that at 4 in the afternoon, all their customers are calling them looking for updates. It's, I don't have time to call all these people. I don't have time for this. And yet you spend all day chasing people around and calling people for things that could have been gone over and sold when you had their undivided attention this morning, or that afternoon when they dropped off. So I just want you to focus on that, please. I can't stress it enough. But the biggest, that's really the biggest part. Greeting them outside, smiling, being empathetic to what it is they possibly could be going through. You never know, guys. You never know. If you've been in the business long enough, you've run into plenty of different things. I've had people that had an appointment for their check engine light that they set, a week ago, and their father passed away the night before, but they still came in for their appointment because now they got to drive 12 hours to go to a funeral to bury their father. And if they come walking into your dealership under that circumstance, and you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Whatever. And you're just like blowing off. You're not helping. You really, in this business, you have the power to make someone's day. Telling someone what's wrong with their car is not the worst thing in the world. You're always helping them. Like if I tell you that your CV boot is busted, I'm not just trying to sell you a CV boot. It might be $200 or whatever it is, but I'm saving you money, because if I don't tell you about it and that axle, God forbid that axle goes out, that's now $500 instead of $200 or $250. If that axle goes out and actually breaks and that axle is smacking the bottom of your engine, it could be thousands. So at the end of the day, why would I ever be afraid to tell people what their car needs? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is when you have those conversations with people, don't be surprised at their reaction. they may be totally freaked out. They may get mad at you, and that anger might not be coming from you. It may be something you did to earn it, but a lot of times that anger is coming from some frustration, either with past issues with their car or just something else going on in their life altogether. That's my biggest takeaway today for anyone in the business. Please, I beg of you, is to be empathetic. You know, when customers come in, any interaction that you possibly have, treat them with respect and empathy. Meet them out in their drive, in their comfort zone. You're going to learn a lot about them out there. You know, you're not a receptionist. I can get receptionists in the business for $8 an hour, $9-10 an hour. You're not a receptionist. You're an advisor. You're a consultant. Do what your name tag says you do. You can't do that just sitting at a desk having cattle come to your, through your gate all day long. So get out there, get in the lane, be empathetic, be sensitive to what they got going on, make it a great day, and try to make a difference in someone's life. That's all you can really try to do.